So Lee says that my hair looks pretty techno right now. Don't know what that means, but I'm gonna go with it. I just got back from a conference called the ASU GSV Summit. It's one of the big education conferences. Happens once a year. Um, Really cool speakers: Bill Gates, Condoleezza Rice, Sal Khan. Um, Basically, everyone who's everyone in education is there, and they have a lot of startups that come there and pitch what their startups are doing. I ran into a lot of my friends that are also running education technology companies, and um, I want to, I guess, issue a word of warning to some of you guys who are watching, who may be in the early stages of starting your startup. And this is something that the partners conveyed to us at Y Combinator on one of the last days there. And it was that when they ask the founders like how things are going with the company, they usually find that there's an inverse relationship between how well someone says their company's doing and how well it's actually doing. And this advice was to us to basically say, well, two things. First of all, don't compare yourself to other companies, and don't feel bad if it seems like things are going not as well for you as it is for other people. If you talk to other founders of companies, people are going to basically not tell you about the bad stuff and only ever tell you about the good stuff. You know, the number of employees that they have, or the round of funding that they closed, or the number of users that they have. A lot of times they're hiding the things that are not going so well, like how much money they're spending hiring those employees, or how much money they're spending getting those users, or maybe, you know, there are a lot of other things that aren't working out so well. And because people, I guess, often lie to each other, or they paint a rosier picture of how things are going for them, it leads to this grass is greener type feeling. Like you always feel like things are going a lot worse for you than they are for other people, and you wish that you had what these other startups had. This kind of relates to my last Founder Friday about not giving up just because you feel like you have competition that is way better resourced or is further along than you are. But the other thing that I would say about this is don't go around telling people everything's going perfect. Basically, don't lie. And I'd say that with a grain of salt, in that, of course, it's important to be tactful about who you're telling what to, and you know, you don't want to throw the weight of everything that's going wrong onto every person you talk to. But at least for myself, I will, you know, I'll tell people about problems that we're going through. I'll tell people when, you know, there's something that I'm having trouble figuring out, or if, you know, we are behind on this deadline, or there's, you know, something that just isn't working. And the reason why I'll do that is twofold. The first is that if you don't tell people about problems, then you're missing out on an opportunity to run into people who may be able to help you solve your problem. If you have good friends that are also startup founders, or also, you know, in the space with you, if they don't know what kind of problems you're running into, you're never gonna get other opinions, or people aren't going to necessarily be able to help you out. If you're trying to keep it in, you're not getting the full weight of your entire network behind it and the people that you know. So that's definitely a problem. But the second thing is, I really do believe that if you paint this picture like everything's going great on the outside, but on the inside you're freaking out, you're creating this separation that then makes you feel very guilty, and it alienates you from the people around you, and that leads to cases of founders getting depressed, or founders getting burnt out, or people feeling like there's such high expectations, and usually the expectations come from you selling this story or telling this picture that is just not necessarily true. Now, of course, founders have to be optimistic and paint this vision of the world that may not necessarily be true yet, in order to get people to follow them and in order to make it a reality. I'm not saying that, you know, that you're not going to continue doing that, but you know, the real people have this ultimate optimism while still recognizing the realities and the difficulties of the current situation. So yeah, that's one bit of advice. Plus, it drives me crazy when I'm talking to somebody and I'm asking them how it's going, and they're saying everything's going fine, but you can kind of tell it's not. It just kind of feels fake. Whereas I think what I've found is, in order to be a real leader, part of leadership is actually expressing vulnerability and expressing when things aren't going well. Because what that allows you to do is that allows other people to connect with you, because they recognize, oh, there's actual connection through vulnerability. Not everything is always going so well. For people where it always seems like everything's going well, they seem kind of not human, right? They seem like there's something a little too perfect there, something below the superficial layer that you can't figure out. Whereas if you do show that you're human, well, then it sometimes actually inspires other people to be human and to be transparent and to create a true connection as well. This is especially true for people who are running teams. To not lie about when you haven't been able to get something done, or to just recognize, I'm imperfect just like you. That is the true stuff of what makes a leader. So just some random thoughts on this Founder Friday, and I hope you enjoy it. And shoot me an email, founderfriday@onemonth.com, if you have any questions, or post a comment below. I'd love to see it. Thanks.